Our minds constantly chase security, and our heart always knows to surrender. But remember, your personality or the spiritual ego is still want to grasp into things. But then in the same space, the soul want to release. And I always say this, your body, if you really take the body, is a magnificent vibration. It has cells, it has bones, it has muscles. But if you get this space to govern by your ego, there will be so much of obstacles against the body and its natural flow. So if you get the logistic part of the ego, what is right and wrong, to work, and your governor should be, the governing space should be surrender into the space of the heart. And I'm going to pinpoint this on the class today. In that way, it will navigate into the highest purpose of your path, because everyone is asking, what's my purpose? Is that the right decision I have taken? It's not a decision, it's a space where you're allowing the flow rather than forced to be in the space of security. You're surrendering. You have to understand the happiness is never can be hunted. If you're hunting happiness, you're pursuing happiness from very unhappy place. And peace is also something cannot be possessed. It's the other way around. The possession should happen, and then you are merged into that space. So this healing begins, whether it's grief, whether it's trauma, whether it's a breakup, whether it's having enough. It's beyond our egos. But what it gives back is it gives back life. Gives back flow. And this is why the practice is very important, because on the space of the practice, you will allow the flow and you will navigate the body to see where that it has been holding, because it has to hold in patterns. It has to be hold on vibration and frequency of in that space of destruction. So when the mind is constantly chasing security, this part of the frequency get vibrate further and further, and the whole body mechanism is like a river. It carries us, but it will only carry us when the interference of the mind, when you stop swimming against it. The current of being nourishes us when we stop comparing ourselves. And comparison is a huge thing now. It's very strong on social media, because you're being navigated by these people to compare yourself, and you are already have that self-critic in that same space of the mind. This is why the practice is bringing that heart of stillness. And when it whispers, when we stop striving, it only whispers when we stop striving. And if you're constantly talking and talking and moving and moving and moving, not just by saying that, but in the energetical level, you will never hear these little whispers happening to you that guiding you for the purpose of why you are even here. So don't ever follow other people's journeys, because they are not meant to be yours. You're meant to be your own thing. And without even having a success, you should be in that space. What nourishes that space. But saying that, now I'll move the camera towards Darren and take a deep breath in, and shoulders roll back, and just that breathing. We are gathered here not to fix ourselves, but to unbind ourselves from the illusion we were taught. We were constantly, that voice is out there teaching you to be in that space of illusion. So whatever it is, take a deep breath in, shoulders roll back, opening up the chest, and elevate the space of the heart, that sacred space that we remember. And allow the breath to flow that cannot be forced. There is a thought and emotion here and cannot be hunted. Just allow it to possess you. Now shrug the shoulders up and squeeze the shoulders. Tilt the head back. Elevate the heart. And breath out into the chest and collapse the spine and soften that space of the spine. So now remember, your practice is not in a pursuit, not in a comparison, not in a resistance, but it's the sacred art of that surrender. Now take a deep breath in, push the belly into the front, and align the spine straight, shrug the shoulders up, tilt the head back and massage the back of the skull a bit more, and close the mouth, breath out and collapse into a seated cat. Let the ego rest. Breathing in, tongue roll up onto the upper palate, energy gaze, and let the heart rise. Let the flow unfold. Breath out, twist the spine to the right, stomach pulled in. Now together, we heal together, we remember together, we flow together as a collective consciousness and create in this space, into that space of collective consciousness. Take a deep breath in, change the formation of the legs for me, opening up the space of the heart. Breathe like a river flowing. Love the flow beyond the old shores. Breath out, twist the spine to the left. So you're loving the practice by observing the flow beyond the old shores, because old shores are like places you go when you are being criticized, when you're charged, your patterns. Back into the center. Now stretch the neck to the right. Let each of these movement to be act of curiosity. Okay, so don't do the practice as a repetition. It's a curiosity. Stretching to the right. What's that energy feel like? Back into the center. Stretching the head onto the left side. Observe where the body softens. When it softens, we know this. We study about arteries, we study about neuropaths. Path widens. Any path widens when it's softened. Back to the center. Now take a deep breath in, arms raise onto the crown, interlace in the fingers, palms facing up. Let that posture be a door. You're free to enter and you're free to leave. That's how the practice should be. Breath out, spread the wings wide and release throughout the patterns. Now take a deep breath in and bring in the left foot into the back. Shoulders roll up, chest open. A gentle elongation to the space of the kidneys. Breathe is not a task. It is a remembering. Remember how it feels to be felt with that breath. Breathe. Not by will, but life itself. Breath out, drop the elbows, walk those palms. Walk those palms. Let that each exhale be a surrender. Surrender only happens when you're in the space of witness. You're constantly talking, you're constantly fine, you're constantly proving an idea, is that you know that you are not in that space. Now take a deep couple of breaths in and out, release the tension of those fingers, the wrist. Let each inhale be an invitation. You do not need to carry what has grown heavy. Ask yourself what has grown heavy. Do inquiry. Notice the patterns of the mind. You're not here to fight your own mind. Understand that very carefully. You're not trying to push thoughts of destruction away. You're not here to fight your own mind. Take a deep breath in and very gently coming back. Shoulders relaxed and chest open. Now, if I'm not fighting my mind, what am I doing here? Take a couple of deep breaths. You're here to free the space around it. So new thoughts can arise, not the old repetitive, your broken records going through and going through and going through. Breath by breath, body by body, thought by thought, the path within is unfolded into a plan. Strong on the pelvic floor. There is no map for this journey. Remember one thing, you're the mystery, you're the living map. You're the treasure, you're the hunt. Feel your body as a field of vibration. Drop the knees and stretch the spine. Palms facing up. Each part alive, each part is now speaking. You're on a space of a council where everything is on the space of a communication. Bring your awareness to your feet. These ancient roots touching the earth is a significant part of this feet. Now, palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest into the front of the belly, soften the heart, sense your heart. This vast, unknowable chamber that you think that you know medically, maybe physically, maybe some text about it. Now I want you to come into a gentle cobra. Now feel the breath as it flows, not control, not shape. Elevate. You're becoming porous. What was heavy can flow out now. What is new can flow in. So let's move from the breath to its vibration. What was heavy can flow out. That's what panic attacks. What is new can flow in now. Overlooking onto the right side. Back to the center, overlooking onto the left side. Back to the center. And relax the third eye onto the flow. There's only this infinite unfolding now, this happening. You're already enough. You're already whole. Practice is being resting now, and let the next step of the path appears in its time. Have you ever heard about something called, if it is not happening, that you're also in the place of preparation? So may this body and the mind becomes the temple of trust, not a conflict that is happening in socially, economically, religiously, politically. You don't want that conflict because the whole media is about that conflict. In that conflict, the body and the mind will never become the temple of trust. It will become the temple of doom. What are we going to learn from all these things? Palms onto the elbow, breathing in. Coming into up phase from here. May this breath and the up phase become the bridge of belonging, not the isolation and cutting out of bridges, out of protection, out of security. Breathe out towards the down phase. Now I want you to go into the toes, bend the knees and warm up. Remember, you have something called a hip, you have something called a spine, you have a back of a hip and a front of a hip, you have a back of a thigh and in front of the leg, you have a back of the knee, front of the knee. So I want you to breathe into and becomes this possibility of opening up with softness, opening up the eyes of this body, not just the eyes, what we see outside. The eyes are opening within. There's a courage in that. Take a deep breath in. Left foot into the front onto the pigeon pose. Shoulders roll back, opening up the chest, elevate the space of the heart. Take a deep breath in, breath out, drop the elbows, walk those palms, release the tension. Allow this body to find that what is appearing within is taking the shape of, so there's a courage. So there is something that is happening. You don't know the idea of joy. You don't know what the space of joy is. It is not in a place of an item. So I will tell you the spiritual part of joy is in the spaces where nothing is happening. Nothing need to happen. Have you ever acquired this is something that you're born with? And then you have destroyed it by waiting for things to happen. So you're not in a place of joy and you're constantly hunting it. So you destroy the joy of others to get it right, and still you won't get it. Now take a deep breath in and very gently coming back, shoulders relaxed, chest open, elevate the space of the heart. Into a plank. Stronger on that pelvic floor. Drop the knees and stretch the spine, releasing the tension. Now observe the mind. I'm not here to fix myself, but to unbind myself or ourselves from the illusion of what I have been taught, what the media was shouting at, what the education is shouting at. And I'm removing these shackles and journeys that has created for me is not my own. Take a moment and allow that mind chaser security part to release the body and the mind. Observe the space that you have born with the heart knows where the surrender was. Surrender is, surrender will be. Remember, the ego will still grasp. Soul will release you, but you will constantly go where the security is. So in this sacred space, you're remembering yourself. Your flow cannot be forced. Your joy and happiness cannot be hunted. Peace is something you cannot possess. It has to possess you when you come into the space of the surrender. Palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest into the front. Take a deep breath in, coming into an up face. Let the river of the life carries you when you have stopped swimming against it. Down face. Let this current of being nourishes you, because now there is no comparison to the body from the past or to the future. There's no comparison to breath. There's no comparison to what your life situation is. And let that heart of stillness whispers, because the striving has stopped, even to do posture, do this, master that. Now take a deep breath in, left foot into the back, rotation to the left foot, left knee to the left chest, breathe out, stretch back, left knee to the left elbow, breathe out, stretch back, left knee to the right elbow, stretch back, left foot into the front, arm stretching to the back, interlacing the fingers, shoulders release, skull blade squeeze, spread the wings wider, arms raise onto the crown, palms onto the namaskar position. Enter into the sacred space. Remember, the flow is the breath of the universe. And stillness, it's silent wisdom. Let each of my words invite you to a deeper into presence, so that when you're breathing out, you'll let go of that striving, opening up into the Virabhadrasana. Allow the river of life to carry you gently, wisely. Take a mudra that represents whole. In this posture, I will ask you to release any resistance, return to the flow. Where you're holding resistance, open that space into the return to the flow. And ease is not a weakness, it's the wisdom. Inner peace is the only one that creates the outer clarity. Otherwise, you will tangle with the outer world to fight furthermore, into create that destruction. Now, in this stillness, can we observe stillness? It's not the absence, it is the presence then. Gentle arch, elbow onto the knee, right arm reaching up, right reach into the back opening, up, 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 touch the floor. Left arm reaching up, up. Get that paravita so that it actually can release certain tension that gather in the digestion, spleen, pancreas, and the liver. Go with the current, not against yourself. Let the river of this paravita to nourish you in these organs, reaching into the back and touch the floor. Now drop the back knee onto the floor, holding onto the front knee. Arms stretch onto the sides and take the Garudasana right on the top. Right arm on the top. Now gently touch the third eye. Breathe into the space where the sweat is dissolving. In this posture, breathe into the space where the effort is dissolved. Observe with the chin back a little bit, but keep opening up the back of the neck and the head. You're not drained by doing this. You're only drained by resisting. Take a deep breath in, stroke, and spread the wings wider. Surrender is the sacred alignment. Wider and touch the floor. Into a plank. Allow the plank to be the flow of your natural state. Drop the knees. Completely breathe out to the cat. Breathing into the cow. Breathe out to the cat. Bring into the space of the neutrality. Sacred. Surrender is the alignment now. Not doing. Now give a good rotation to the hips and the spine and the digestion. And release what you're holding somewhere there is constantly coming and triggering you. It might be in the liver. It might be in the spleen. It might be in the kidneys. Just understand you're not a problem to solve. You are a presence to feel. You're not a problem to solve, because all those texts I'm getting that someone feel like someone is the problem. You're not here to solve. You're a presence to feel. Got it? Wider attention to the other side. Allow, don't push. Allow, don't push. See when you're pushing. Because pushing is that you are still in the struggle. Let go of the struggle. Let life breathe you. Let life breathe you. Push the hips into the front and stretch the spine, palms facing up. Now, let's say hypothetically, the mind is still in a chaotic place. But in the heart of chaos, there is still stillness. In the heart of stillness, there is still a light. There is still a mystical power. Now, let's say you are one of those people who have done so many things, and there's nothing more to do, and your mind is totally chaos. Have you ever thought about the flow happens when you stop forcing? Anxiety is the echo of untrusted stillness. Anxiety, I will say it again, is the echo of untrusted stillness. Because you somehow think that not to trust stillness. And you have to make doing. But I'm not asking you to not to do by force again, because some people stop everything and says, I had done enough, I had enough. No, I'm not talking about that. That is still anxiety, is the ego of untrusted stillness. This moment, I want you to observe the softness, observe the openingness, observe that it is in the present moment. Your exhaustion in life is a teacher. Listen. Your exhaustion is a teacher, so listen. And ask yourself, healing begins when the effort ends. Palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest into the front. Take a deep breath in and coming onto an up face. Shoulders relaxed and chest open. Breathe out towards the down face. Right leg up, right knee to the right chest. Breathe out. Stretch back, right knee to the right elbow. Stretch back, right knee to the left elbow. Stretch back, right foot into the front. Arms stretch into the back, interlacing the fingers. Arms raise onto the crown. Spread the wings wider to raise. Palms onto the pranam position. Now observe, instead of when the mind starts taking control of your life, what happens? Now your soul says you're the river and you're the flow, you're the stillness, but the mind said, no, you are the one who is drowning. You're not drowning. So observe that. That's why people don't like to stay in the unknown. They wanted to be the master of the known. Opening up onto the Virabhadrasana. Take a mudra that I am carrying this ease into my day. Let life unfold without force. In surrender, I meet my true self. So, come into that space. Gentle arch. Elbow onto the knee. Left arm reaching up. Left reaching into the back and touch the floor. Take a deep breath in, right arm. Reaching up. Now you are beginning to come from not knowing, but from listening. Are we all on the same page? Right, reaching into the back and touch the floor. Because if you have a little bit of your own vocabulary and the story of the past and the future, you will miss this presence, because the moment does not ask you for certainty. It asks you only for presence. Elbow onto the knee. Opening up, back knee drop, arm switch onto the side, left on the top, onto the Garudasana. Now let the heaviness of the back of the shoulder drawn to release. The path of your life is not yet drawn. It appears as you begin to walk. I told a lady yesterday also about this. What's my path? I said it will appear as you begin to walk. Breath by breath, step by step. Here in this sacred space, you will soften all patterns of the body and the thought. And you will welcome what arises and allow the unseen. Allow the unseen. Aren't we all addicted to the sea? But no one wants to see unseen. That is the only way to become visible through the actions and awareness, allowing the unseen. Now stroke the third eye, spread the wings wider and touch the floor. Today's practice is no striving, only opening, only sensing, only allowing, only healing, only the intelligence within you to move, which has been moving you. Don't doubt it. This body has grown up into this space, not because you knew everything. Plank. Drop the knees and completely breathe out to the cat with the way that it will reveal itself as you take this journey. Drop the belly, tongue roll up onto the upper palate. Let this breath and this mudra guide. Breath out. You should remember not in the mind. Let things of this flow remember in the body. Now relax into a neutral spine and left arm reaching up to the ceiling. Left arm reaching into the back under the armpit and stretch the spine and allow that clear intention. We are here to meet life as it is and to move gently towards the new, which is the present. So don't put it forward. When I call new, that means presence. Now breathe into this pose that you're holding gently, observing. Observe the feet to the head, simply noticing. Gentle couple of more breaths. Observe that shifting patterns, freeing flow. Let the breath waves through the body. Release on that diaphragm, chest opening. Observe the neck and the jaw also softening in this opening. Gently coming back, completely breathe out to the cat. Breath holds and pauses with that conscious exhale. Breathing in, tongue roll up on the upper palate. Drop the belly. Neutral spine now. Right arm reaching up to the ceiling. Right reaching into the back arm with the arm. Remember, breath is the river. Allow it to flow beyond the old shores, beyond the old holes that you used to swim, run. Let each movement be an act of, I'm curious. But when you talk from the past, it's a repetition. It's not a safe place. It is a place that you have stopped growing. It is a place that shields chromatically, suffocating. So ask yourself, how can I restore this? How can I unblock held area? How can I sense in a new way? Gently coming back, completely breathe out to the cat. Allow the spinal heart to flow. Now give a good release to the hips, wider rotation into both sides. I would like you to have a long exhalation on this movement as a gentle heart opener. And then push the hips into the front and into the back. Just listen to this phrase that where the body softens, the path widens. Let each movement be a door that I am free to enter, I am free to leave. No one is holding me on the out or in the in. Stretch the spine into the back, palms facing up. Remember, nothing of this is even the breath, even the movement. It's not a task. Because you are task oriented, you've been very well educated. And that same education now out of balance has come into a problematic place, not only for us, it happening on a whole level in the whole world. So the practice it is a remembering. You go to remember things, birthdays, death anniversaries, war, things like remembering dates. But you forget to remember how it feels to be breathing. If you're failing on the primordial energy, not by will, but by itself, how could you be remembering other things when your body is not in that space of alignment? So let each inhale be an invitation that once you have forgotten. Now, very gently, we are coming into the child pose. No matter how busy you are, if you have forgotten this and you're doing the toes of the other, there is no surrender. I'm not asking you to come into this place out of separation. It's not like asking from a brother to a partner to a mother or none of that I'm here. If you're working from your space of the ego, you're going to grow heavy and you're going to make this body heavy that it cannot have the flow. So notice the patterns of the mind. And in this very moment, some will arise like old friends. I want you to greet them. I want you to let them pass. Don't tell me why you have that friend for. Now, there will be others who will try to stay, smile, soften, and open, observe. You're not here to fight your own mind. You're here to free the space around it so that new energy can flow. Unseen can be seen. Now come into the space of the child pose. Now very gently wake up the spine one vertebra at a time. Shoulders relax and chest open. Now very gently stretch the legs into the front. Now release any tension on those feet. Now push the heel out and point the toes to each other. That's it. Good strength. Now sole of the feet together, knees wide apart, and very gently release any tension that unfolding in this real time. Feel your body as a field of vibration and allow each part to speak to you. It's speaking all the time. It's just that we fail to listen. Welcome what it says, not to fight what it says. Now very gently relax into the space of the Sukhasana. Shoulders relaxed and hips open. Take a deep breath in and bring your awareness into your feet. I'm having a great thank you for the space of the feet. That have you ever thought how many miles that this feet has walked you because you want to have a journey? So these ancient roots touching the earth, feel them soften, feel the breath. The breath can be the gratitude of how far these feet has come from a small print to this print. Now very gently take a deep breath in and move your attention up through the legs to the hips. Take a deep breath in through the spine. Notice where there is a light. Notice where there is a cloud. All is welcome. All belongs into the ecology of this, what you call a body. Now I want you to sense your heart, the space that has a vastness in it. It is an unknowable chamber. This is nothing, your observation is not to be solved. It's to be heard. Let it open at its own pace. Now I want you to take a deep breath in. Now feel the breath as it flows, not controlled into the space of this heart, not shape. Let it move through the unseen path within you and let it flow it gently. Here is the resting presence. Let that whole space become porous. So what was heavy can flow out. What was ease can come in. There is no final destination in the space of this class. There's only this infinite unfolding. Now let's take a moment in this space of the vibration. The path you are seeking, walking, is being created through your own being. This is the healing. This is the return to it. When you come into that space, observe very gently and if your breath has a saying, it is, you're already enough, you're already whole. The practice is about resting now and let the next step of the path appear in its time. Now I want you to bring your inquiry into this space. Don't call it a body, this space. What softens today? What softens today? It doesn't have to have an answer. What new possibilities do you sense? This is for the lady who asked me about the path. What new possibility do you sense? How will you walk this new path up this class? May this body become the temple of trust. May this breath will be a reminder for the bridge of belonging. May this mind become the sky of new possibility. May we walk the path that appears with courage and softness with the grace of this class's birth, with open eyes. May we find joy in the spaces where nothing is happening and welcome this peace that comes from stillness. Now, very gently, arms raise onto the crown, cleansing the aura. And may all beings seen and unseen find healing through the way we know now to choose to walk. The path is here. We are here. Let us begin again. Simply bringing the palms onto the third eye, throat, heart, and solar plexus, navel, and Muladhara. Arms very gently raised back to the crown. Breath is the river. Allow it to flow beyond all. Palms onto the Namaskar position. Let each movement be an act of curiosity, not repetition. I have softened. My path has widened. Let each moment be a door that I'm free to enter and I'm free to leave. Namaste as a remembering how it feels to be in the space of the breath, not by will, but by itself. Let each inhale be the invitation. Let each exhale be a surrender. Now I release that what I don't have to carry anymore. Notice the patterns of the mind. You're not here in this space to fight your own mind. You're here to create the space. Namaste. So so when you're going through these times that always remember that times are not that difficult, but because of the known is coming into an end, the unknown looks like a challenge, isn't it? So it's actually not against you. Actually, it is aligning you into the space of the path. So my love to you all in this space. We both actually had the flu and we are recovering, and few people that, but we want to do this class to be on that collective consciousness. So when you're going through this path, just remember that always that I rest in the river of life. I trust unfolding of each moment. I release the grasp of the ego. I welcome the wisdom of the heart. I flow into the stillness. I'm nourished by surrender. I belong and I am life. When you forget that I am life, you fight with life. When you forget you are not the river, you fight with the currents to swim upstream. At that very moment, you understand the healing journey is beyond the ego and into the flow. And I hope this closing mantra will help you and answer a lot of things because lately not answer all the messages that always have been. And I don't think anything is against me or you. It's just the way we have been taught and educated. We find that resilience um, in times. And I love you all there, Rebecca, Maria, Liz, Matt, Nicolina. That's all that I say. Love you all, big hugs, uh, and surrender into that whatever is going through for you today. I love you all, big hugs. Enjoy the day. Talk to you soon.